Okay, but let's say the trash is overflowing. What would they tell you, Autumn? Or what were you going to say?
They command you to do what they want you to do. They command you.
And how, so if the trash was overflowing, what would they say? What sentence would they say? Autumn? You're ahead of me, but you're right. They would say, take out the trash. Right? Now, what if your parents said, okay, so let's say the dog's bowl was empty and had no food. What would your parents say, Jensen?
Feed the dogs.
Right, go feed the dogs. What happens if the grass was so long you lost all your balls in it? You couldn't find any of your balls because your grass was this high.
Yikes.
What would your parents tell you? Jana?
Try to find the balls in the grass.
Okay, they might say try to find the balls.
Because if you
And-
mow the lawn, then the balls get stuck in the middle.
True. Lucy?
Cut the grass.
Yeah, they would say cut the grass. So, do you notice each of those sentences is a command? What are each of those sentences?
A command.
A command. So anytime somebody tells you, gives you a command, that's called an imperative sentence. Can you say that? Imperative. Okay, and I'm going to write command. So get out, open your journal, and let's write imperative.
Wait, can we do it on the same page?
You can do it at the bottom of the page where we did declarative and interrogative if you want, and keep them all on the same page. Or if you ran out of room, you can do it on the back. Alright, so imperative is a command. Now, most times, even though it's a command, it still ends in a period. Okay, because you don't need to always give a command very loud. Okay, you just say, go cut the grass, empty the trash, clean your room, fold your clothes, do your homework, go take a bath, brush your teeth. Okay, all those things are imperative sentences. So you can draw periods around that too. Now, if you want to draw a picture with it, you can. Maybe you can draw a person. You can draw your mom or dad. And you could even make a speech bubble.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're saying, feed the dog.
Feed the dogs. Feed the dogs.
No. Did you do this? Okay, open your journals.
Yeah.
Are you going to remember what it ends with and everything? Okay. So, feed the dog. Now, the next kind of sentence is probably the loudest sentence. Oh, I don't like these kind of sentences. They're too loud. But we have to learn about them. So, something that ends with an exclamation point is what kind of a sentence? Exclamatory, because you're exclaiming. You're with excitement. And it's too loud for me. I don't like exclamatory. So,
I do. I do it all the time.
right, exclamatory.
With my mom.
Okay. And next to that, why don't we write that exclamatory shows strong feeling. Okay, and then you can draw lots of exclamation points around it.
Can we not draw lots of exclamation points, or do we have to?
I mean, you don't have to, but kind of the purpose of our journal is just to draw and help us remember. If you see a picture, a lot of times it helps you remember better. I know for me it helps. So, for instance, you might say, well, and sometimes it depends how you say it too, because a declarative sentence, you might just be saying it, but then if you say it with strong feeling, then it would be exclamatory. So you might say, I have new books. But if you say it like, I have new books, you're so excited, then you would do exclamatory. Okay? Or how about this? I love 4th grade. Yes! That's the one sentence that I like that's exclamatory. All right, so once you're done with writing those in your journal, go ahead and open your language book to page 4. And at the top, it has, in the box, it gives examples of exclamatory and imperative. And I actually just read the exclamatory to you. So imperative could say, stack the new books neatly. Okay? Now, in this case, imperative, the command I gave was with strong feeling. So if it does have strong feeling, then you would add an exclamation point. But it's still an imperative sentence because you're still telling them to do something. Watch out! Okay, it's still, even though it has an exclamation point, it's still imperative because it's giving a command. Okay, but for the most part, they usually would end in a period, sometimes exclamation. All right, so number 1, under Think A. First, we're going to identify each sentence by writing IMP for imperative or EXC for exclamatory in the blank. Second thing is what we're going to use proofreader's marks to insert correct punctuation at the end of each sentence. So for number 1, who would like to read that sentence and tell us what kind of sentence it is and what punctuation? Marissa?
Sing to the Lord a new song.
What kind of a sentence is that? That's actually in the Bible. That's a Bible verse.
Imperative.
Right, imperative, because it's giving a command. It's telling you to sing.
And you need a period.
Correct. So for number 1, you write IMP, and then at the end of your sentence, insert a period. Number 2, Jed, would you want to do number 2?
Pray without ceasing.
Mm-hmm.
Imperative.
Right. That's another Bible verse. And what punctuation?
Period.
Good. So who knows what ceasing is? If you pray without ceasing.
That's so.
So, right. I was going to say, when you're driving, if you come to a red octagon, it says stop, right? Well, it also could say cease, because cease means to stop.
Does it say cease?
No, it says stop. But just to be funny, it would be funny if it said cease, because that means to stop. All right, number 3, Mackenzie.
That is a huge spider. Exclamatory.
Right. And what does it get at the end?
An exclamation Exclamation point.
Right, exclamation point. Jacob?
On the corner of my neighbor's house, there's a stop sign, and every winter we cover it with snow, and people always forget to stop.
Oh, that sounds not very safe. Okay, Alex, you wanna do number 4? Okay,
I love music. I think it is exclamatory
right.
because you're like, I love music.
Right. Now, you could write it as a declarative sentence. You could just say, I love music class. But in this case, since we're learning about exclamatory and imperative, our only choices would be to do it exclamatory. So, and it ends with a,
Exclamation mark.
right. And hopefully soon we'll be able to have music class. Number 5. Dylan, would you want to do number 5? No, you want to? Noah, you do number 5? Oh, I'm so sorry. Forgot. You need to tell me. Remind me. Say, I have the old book still. So, do you have an imperative and exclamatory? So this is your exclamatory. All right. So see here, yours are a little bit different. Let's see if you can still label this. Okay. Brayden, will you do number 5? Okay.
I can't wait to see my grandpa.
Right. Ends with a
Exclamation mark.
correct. Number 6. Mason?
Please close that window. Imperative.
Good. And it ends with a
Period.
good. Yesterday in Farmer Boy, we heard that sentence, remember? Remember after the bad boys jumped out the window, the teacher said, Boyle, will you please close the window? Okay, number 7. Jensen?
Please be very careful.
What kind of sentence is that?
Imperative.
Good. Because it's telling you to do something.
And put a period at the end.
Right. Now, in this case, you could put a period or an exclamation, depending on how you say it. You could say, be very careful. Or you could say, be very careful. So, you can put either one. Period or exclamation point. Number 8. Nicholas.
Be careful with your glasses.
Okay.
And it is declarative.
Imperative.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's
Imperative.
right. And what would the punctuation be at the end?
Period.
Okay, you could do a period. You could say, be very careful with your glasses. Or you could say, be careful with your glasses. So it depends on how you say it. Depends on how many times the person's not been careful. If they're never careful, you would say it, be careful with your glasses. Then you go like that. All right. Now, for write B and C, you are going to write an example of one of those sentences. So for B, you're going to write an exclamatory sentence pretending that you are at a ball game. And then for write C, you're going to write an imperative sentence that is an important safety rule.